Sad to say, but America has become a victim of its own success. Our politicians are throwing around mind-boggling amounts of money, and no matter how much we give them, of course, they always need more. President Biden made a stop in Cleveland today to tout his budget plan. He'd like to spend $6 trillion. And while it's so easy to say, and it rhymes with billion, in reality, it's a number that is very difficult to fathom. We'll get to that here in just a minute. But first, here's the president's sales pitch.
The Biden economic plan is working. We had record job creation. We're seeing record economic growth. We're creating a new paradigm.
Sir, you stepped into office 10 minutes after the vaccine came out and just as the country was emerging from a crippling pandemic. To be honest, a house cat could have presided over record job growth at this time. In fact, all things considered, your recovery from this has been less than impressive, as noted by the reluctance to return to work for a whole lot of people collecting $50,000 in unemployment. Biden also mentioned at the end there a new paradigm. He's not lying about that. This kind of spending is, again, mind-boggling. Here is the debt clock we have. The scariest number I could probably show you tonight. $28 trillion and growing by the millisecond. Look at how fast that number goes up. That's your country. Printing money is already having a terrible effect on the American people via inflation. If you're planning any home remodels this summer, prepare to have a heart attack. I just got a quote on a new roof. It almost killed me. The Biden administration is ignoring the entire course of economic history with this budget, instead pitching it hard as a gift to the middle class.
I'm not looking to punish anyone or to say business shouldn't be able to make a significant profit. I understand the risk and challenges business owners face, and they should be rewarded for their success and the risks they take. I just think after decades of workers getting a raw deal, it's time they be given a fair shake.
Raw deal. This from a guy who spent most of his time in the Senate shipping good-paying jobs to Asia and Mexico. Obviously, most of this plan will just tack on debt. The rest will come through tax hikes, and trust us, it's not on just the so-called rich. Make sure to never forget all the times Biden said this.
I will not impose any tax increases on people making less than $400,000 a year.
Remember that quote, because the New York Times reporting today, Mr. Biden and Congress will allow tax cuts for low and middle income Americans signed into law by Donald Trump in 2017 to expire as scheduled in 2025. You see how their little game works. They're just letting a tax cut expire. That's technically not raising taxes, but for low income and middle income people, it is. You're going to pay more in taxes now. So now that we're all in it together, if you're working, you're going to be paying more. And I want to make sure people understand exactly how much money we are talking about here. Just how much is $1 trillion? You think you know. Well, trust me, you do not. Let's begin with the difference between 1 million, 1 billion, and 1 trillion. Let's talk about it in terms of time. 1 million seconds is 11 days. 1 million seconds, 11 days ago. 11 days ago, May 16th, Israel and Hamas were trading bombs. Biden still didn't know where he was. My hair was a little bit shorter. That was 1 million seconds ago. Let's go to 1 billion seconds. That takes us back 32 years to 1989. Think of the difference between 1 million and 1 billion. Same year as the fall of the Berlin Wall. From 11 days to 32 years, a generation. That's the difference between 1 million and 1 billion. And now brace yourselves to get to $1 trillion. 1 trillion seconds ago, you're going back 32,000 years to the Paleolithic era. Woolly mammoths, saber-toothed tigers roaming the land. There were people, you would not recognize them. Neanderthals had just gone extinct. That's just 1 trillion seconds ago. Your government wants to spend $6 trillion. Let's go back 6 trillion seconds ago, 192,000 years. For every dollar your government wants to spend in the next fiscal year, just 1 second of time takes you back that far. Do you feel filthy yet? I'm going to make it worse. If you spent $1 million every single day since Jesus Christ was born, $1 million, you wouldn't even hit a full $1 trillion yet. You'd have to keep spending $1 million a day for another 700 years to get to $1 trillion. To get to $6 trillion, it would take more than 16,000 years, spending $1 million every single day. $6 trillion is the equivalent to the entire economic output of Russia, Brazil, South Korea, and Canada combined. Biden's economic plan is hinged on a problem That's not nearly as dramatic as Democrats make it appear. All of this nonsense is hinged on a fake problem. Democrats always focus on how much wealth is being held by billionaires in this country.
Every time I talk about tax cuts for working class people, it's, oh my God, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to take back some of that 1% money and make them pay for it.
Yeah. The truth of the matter is there's about 600 billionaires in this country. If you robbed every one of them at gunpoint for every penny that they had, you'd maybe get a Biden COVID stimulus package out of it. That's it. That'll carry the Democrat Party for what, a few months? Then what? This is why you can't tax your way to prosperity. These fools have to learn the lesson again. Meanwhile, the very clear flaw in Biden's economic plan and all liberal economics was proven yet again in recent months. Biden wants more free money and entitlements to go to the lower class. This ignores the reality that welfare just creates more need for welfare. Read Losing Ground by Charles Murray. A great summation by Murray. Basic indicators of well-being took a turn for the worse in the 1960s, most consistently and most drastically for the poor. In some cases, earlier progress slowed. In other cases, mild deterioration accelerated. In a few instances, advance turned into retreat, Murray says. So why the 1960s? Well, after JFK was shot, LBJ got the White House, introduced what was called a war on poverty. LBJ's programs did help to reduce poverty in some cases, to be fair, but also moved millions of Americans into perpetual dependence on government, which lasted decades until Bill Clinton and Republicans in Congress passed bills designed to end welfare as we know it. Give credit to Bill Clinton for that. Dependency is the problem. People have a tendency to just give up trying when they get enough free money coming in. Ask any socialist country. The latest COVID relief bill proved that through enhanced unemployment. Restaurants and bars are still begging their employees to give up $50,000 in free money and actually come back to work, and it's not been easy for them to do. On infrastructure, Republicans are now offering a plan that spends close to $1 trillion. And here's Republican Senator Shelley Capito.
We're trying to get to that common goal of reaching a bipartisan infrastructure agreement to try to reach somewhere near $1 trillion over an 8-year period of time.
All right, so the Democrat bill only wanted to spend a couple $100 billion on traditional infrastructure and the rest, which was like 80% of it, on things like childcare and nursing homes, things like that. The Democrat bill was way too much socialism with a little bit of infrastructure. The Republican bill is just way too much on infrastructure. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better. Both are far too expensive for a country that has no money.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.